What's up, guys? Today I'm going to explain how the novel Insomnia by Stephen King ties into the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. The Dark Tower is a 7-book epic fantasy series, and King has written many other books that, although they aren't technically a part of the Tower series, they play a role in it. Some in a very intimate way, and some in a more minor way. And of all of the books that King has written, all of the external tie-ins that there are, Insomnia is the most influential and most closely tied up with the series. In order to explain this, I need to tell you briefly what the Dark Tower series is all about, and you'll see how Insomnia comes in like a perfectly fitting puzzle piece. The Dark Tower is all about the world's last gunslinger, Roland of Gilead, who since his childhood has known that he's going to quest for the Dark Tower. His life's mission is all about the Dark Tower, and he doesn't really know what it is, but he does know that he will do anything to get there. He's our protagonist in the series. On the other end of the coin, we have the Crimson King, who is our primary antagonist. And the Crimson King wants the tower for his own reasons. You see, Roland doesn't really know why he's after the tower, but the Crimson King knows that the tower is at the nexus of all of the multiverse, and the Crimson King wants that tower so that he can destroy all of reality. And there you have it. It's the gunslinger versus the Crimson King, with the Dark Tower somewhere in between them, and that's roughly speaking what the Dark Tower is all about. Now let's see how Insomnia fits into this thing. In the Dark Tower series, there is a character named Patrick Danville who plays a very important role. As the series is coming to an end, the gunslinger and the Crimson King come to a battle. It's a fight for the tower at the end of the story, and it turns out that the gunslinger is ill-equipped for that final battle, and this is where Patrick Danville comes into play. The gunslinger cannot win that final battle, but he takes Patrick with him. So it's really 2 versus 1. Patrick and the gunslinger versus the Crimson King, and Patrick defeats the Crimson King on behalf of the gunslinger so that the gunslinger can take the Dark Tower. Now, Insomnia takes place before the Dark Tower series, and in it, Patrick is just a child. Patrick is just a little boy in Insomnia. Now, the Crimson King is a divine being, and being somewhat omniscient, the Crimson King can see the future, and the King in Insomnia knows that Patrick is going to be a problem for him and his quest for the Dark Tower. The Crimson King knows about that final showdown, and he knows that he's going to lose because of Patrick Danville. Now, in Insomnia, the Crimson King tries to have Patrick killed off. It's an assassination attempt on Patrick, basically, by the Crimson King, because the King knows that if he can kill Patrick in Insomnia, Patrick won't be there in Book 7 of the Dark Tower series, The Dark Tower, to help the gunslinger defeat the Crimson King. Neat, huh? Now, in the Dark Tower series, we have a character named Gan, or God, who is the opposite of the Crimson King. The Crimson King is basically like the devil in the series. And in Insomnia, both Gan, or God, and the Crimson King, they're both present. In Insomnia, the Crimson King uses a character named Ed Deepneau. He manipulates Ed and sends Ed after Patrick in his assassination attempt. So it's Ed going after Patrick. On the other hand, we have Gan, or God, from the Dark Tower series. And Gan, being omniscient, knows that Patrick must live if Patrick is going to help the gunslinger to defeat the Crimson King in the final battle of the Dark Tower series. And Gan is manipulating a character named Ralph Roberts, using Ralph to save Patrick in the novel. So we have essentially this. We have the Crimson King playing the puppet master with Ed Deepneau, sending him after Patrick. We also have Gan, on the other hand, manipulating Ralph Roberts, using Ralph Roberts in an attempt to stop Patrick from being killed, as the Crimson King and Gan play a game of chess using humans as pawns while they fight for the Dark Tower. So you can see how, although Insomnia isn't technically speaking an installment in the Dark Tower series, It's all about the tower nonetheless. Now, there are handfuls of other minor connections between Insomnia and the Dark Tower. For example, Ed Deepneau is a relative of Aaron and Nancy Deepneau, both of whom are a part of the Tech Corporation in the Dark Tower series. Now, there are also some handfuls of other connections concerning other Stephen King works, like It. For example, Insomnia takes place in Derry, Maine. It takes place in Derry, Maine. And in It, Mike Hanlon is the Derry Public Librarian, or one of the librarians there. And in Insomnia, we find out that Mike Hanlon works at the public library. And this is really indicative of how Stephen King's library works. It's all one big catalog, one big web of material where things are connected from book, to character, to trilogy, to series. And that's one of the reasons that I love reading Stephen King. And there you have it, guys. That's how Insomnia is connected to the Dark Tower series. It's all about the Crimson King trying to kill off Patrick Danville so that Patrick won't be around in the 7th book of the Tower series, The Dark Tower, to help the Gunslinger defeat the Crimson King to finish the story off. Soon, I will be breaking down Black House and Hearts in Atlantis, and I'm going to show how those books relate to the Dark Tower series. I have 3 big Dark Tower connectors when I think of other Stephen King books. They are Insomnia, Black House, and Hearts in Atlantis, specifically the novella in Hearts in Atlantis, Low Men in Yellow Coats. So keep your eye out for that, guys. And I might even go into short stories and novellas and how all of this stuff connects, because I really, really love this story. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this breakdown of Insomnia and the Dark Tower series. Subscribe to my channel if you love to read. Thanks for joining me. Long days and pleasant nights, my friends.